So who are you not to show up? I see far too many businesses sit on the beach, all right, with their net next to them and thinking that somehow it's the fish's job to swim up to the shore's edge, leap out of the water, jump into the net somehow, and that's somehow, magically how we're going to get leads, that it's like the fish's job to jump into our net. Let me tell you, it's not. Our job as the operational organizational leader of our own enterprise, it is our job to get into the fucking boat, take that boat out into the middle of the ocean and cast our fishing lines in and reel in those fishes. You have to get the fishing rods with the hooks and the bait in the water so the fish can actually come and find you and then be like, ooh, nom, 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 nom.
Cosmic Money, the podcast, the strategy and energetics of seven-figure business.
Hello, gorgeous beings. Welcome to today's podcast, Cosmic Money, the strategy and energetics of seven-figure business. Hell yes to that. I'm your host, Skye Hanley, and bringing you another most amazing episode. Today is all about traffic and attraction secrets to make you money today. All right. Now, I have to tell you a little bit of a secret. I contemplated calling this episode Dance Floor for Fish, which would actually make no sense to anyone else but me. But it's my own little internal, joke or whatever it might be around everything to do with lead generation. So we're going to get to what a dance floor for fish is all about in a second as I give you a couple of really amazing analogies to help you make, everything lead generation, the front end of your business actually make sense. So the first thing that I actually need to do is kind of talk to you a little bit about your business's departments, all right? Now, I know in previous episodes, we've talked about this idea of really stepping you up into being the CEO, the operational organizational leader of your business and your brand. It's actually really important. If you haven't caught it, I would suggest going back to season 1 and watching is it 3 or 4 money models of success? In there, we talk about the cash flow quadrants and basically how you are able to step from 95% of the world's population that only holds 5% of the world's wealth to stepping into being part of the top 5% of the world that owns 95% of the world's wealth. Now, the differentiator and probably the biggest leap that you'll actually ever make is going from, that employee of your own business mindset. Like, think about your business right now. Have you just created yourself a job? Basically, right? Full stop. Have you just created yourself a job where you're constantly, answering to the clunky wheels of it all? You can never actually have any time off. Everything feels very hard, like all of those sorts of things. You're probably still living week to week, feast and famine, no systems, no help, wearing all of the hats, right? The biggest leap that you'll ever make is actually going from that, being an employee of your own business, to stepping into operational, organizational, leadership and hat CEO of your own organization. All righty. So I want you to think today, about being in that operational organizational standpoint. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to say to you is departments. All right. There are 3 main departments of your business. So we've got our CEO, operational organizational hat on, looking at our organization and thinking, okay, well, what are the main departments? The first department, and we say it's the first because it's kind of, the front end, is the lead generation. It's everything to do with messaging and marketing and, how you're showing up as a brand, and a brand isn't your fucking logo and some pretty colors and things like that. But it's really like how you translate what it is that you do and what it is you're up to into the marketplace that you're in. All right. So messaging, marketing, lead generation, those kinds of things. The second department of your business is, in fact, the sales department, or we sometimes call it the sales machine. Now, the sales machine is everything from, when a lead comes in, what do you do with it then? What happens next? All right. So we basically call it like a start to stop sales machine. What happens from all the way at the beginning, all the way through to, having those conversations, chat sequencing, jumping on a call or whatever it is that's part of your sales process. There might be follow up involved in there. Then, somebody says, yes, oh my God, I'm in. You sign them up, you onboard them, and then the next 30, 60, 90 days, that's actually the entire sales machine. Because let me tell you, clients are won and lost in the first 30, 60, 90 days. So we really want to make sure they have an amazing experience. Now, the final department of your business is actually the deliverable. All right. What is your deliverable? Now, in service-based businesses, it's really clear and easy to sort of see it like this in these three departments. If you're a goods-based business, then it's a little bit different. That probably sales machine, I would say, is a lot quicker. But there are still a lot of back-end, things that need to happen within your sales machine, to convert clients, to get them to buy, to sell, away you go. All right. So think about it as the, lead generation, sales machine, and the deliverable, off the back. Now, if you are in a service-based business, which I know, most of my clients are, the deliverable is often where we try to solve problems. And what I mean by that is we go, oh my God, I'm not getting enough leads. Something must be wrong, or I'm not making enough sales, or, oh gosh, I could really use some more money. So I need to create a new deliverable. All right, I need to create something new. I've got to, maybe I need a new program or a different offering or some kind of, deal, or what can I kind of run, or how can I discount? All right. We try to solve the problem in the wrong department, because I promise you that potentially there's nothing wrong with your deliverable. Your deliverable is fine. I imagine it is, right? Whatever it is that you are driving people back towards. And notice how I kind of use, I guess, more tense that imply singular. I don't want you to have a whole bunch of deals and offers. You need to do something really fucking well, not a whole bunch of different things poorly. And that doesn't matter whether you're a service-based business or a goods-based business, all right? You want to make sure that you are the go-to expert known for whatever, your particular thing is. All right. It's super important for that. So we often try to solve the problem in the deliverable section, but that's not where the problem lies. And so if we start to break it down, into departments, and then in those departments, there are systems, and I know that that's boring, not sexy business stuff, but bear with me, a second, and we'll get to some sexy business things. Like making money. How do we make shit tons of money, Skye? Just tell us, right? This is how, to be honest with you, because if there is something happening in any of those systems or in any of those places, in whichever, is it happening in the marketing? Is it happening in the messaging? Is it happening in the, in the sales on the call? Is it happening in the onboarding? Is it happening in the deliverable? If we can figure out where the clunky part, is happening, then obviously we can, put the salve on the problem in the right area. Alrighty, so that's actually really important. So breaking your business down into those three sections. Let me give you a little extension of that for 1 minute, and then we're going to dive into some dance floor for fish, I suppose. Now, think about, again, your business as an operation organization. And this is a little sidestep from what we're here to learn about today, which is really, the lead generation marketing messaging. We're not focusing so much on marketing and messaging, just lead generation as its own whole, as its own entity. All right. Now, think of it like this. If you're, wherever you're listening to this podcast from, think about your big, we have Woolworths here, which is our one of our big supermarkets. There's only two of, there's Coles, there's Woolworths, there's a couple of, speckling of others. Now I'm just going to use Woolworths as the example, but if you're in America, think, I don't know, Walgreens, I think is one. If you're in New Zealand, you guys have Woolworths, it's called something else, like wherever you may be. All right. Think about your big, food shopping, grocery stores. All right. Now, if the CEO woke up one day and was like, oh my God, I've got my period and I just feel really icky today and I'm just going to go lay down for the day and I don't want to do anything, right? Or something like that. And I'm not knocking, having our period and being hormonal. You have my full permission. As an example, if you are a man listening to this, you think about whatever's happening in your life. Maybe, your partner's got a period or whatever it might be, all right? It's like if we just wake up on any given day, imagine the CEO of Woolworths waking up and going, I have my period. You know what? We're just going to close all of the Woolworthses today because I've got my period. I'm the CEO. I'm the operation organizational leader. I just don't feel very well and I'm going back to bed. So all of the Woolworthses, across the entire country are actually going to shut down and we're not going to sell today because I don't feel very good. And then we just, go back to bed or something like that. Can you imagine like the CEO, operational organizational leader of like Woolworths, Coles, Walgreens, wherever it is, right? Can you imagine them doing that? Like, of course not. They might chuck a sickie, absolutely. But the business doesn't shut down, no leads coming in, no sales happening, doors closed at the front there or whatever. Everybody go home. That doesn't happen just because they're having an emotional day or having a bad day or don't feel very well or something like that, all right? So part of you being the operational organizational leader of your organization means that you have to understand and learn how to, hack things around you, right? So that the show goes on regardless of how you're feeling on any given day. All right. Now, I know that that's a little bit of a sidestep, but it's just an extension, right, of this operational organizational departments based thinking, all right, upgrade that you need, within your business, within your operation, your organization, to have the level of success that you're after. All right. These are the upgrades that need to happen. You cannot not sell for a day or not show up for, a week or something like that because you don't feel so good. You will, one, fuck your algorithms, like first and foremost. Two, inconsistent actions equal inconsistent or less than consistent results, right? And three, I don't have a three, refer back to 1 and 2. All right. You're going to fuck your algorithms. You're going to get inconsistent results. You're going to continue, perpetuating this feast and famine within your business and things like that. You just can't do it. And if you cannot imagine, pick another big like department store or something like that. Can you imagine them closing down and saying, we are not going to make money today. We're not going to sell anything, milk, you guys, like, falling off the shelves and tumbleweeds rolling along. That's it. Close the doors. I'm having an emotional day. All right. Like we just can't do it like that. So anyway, departments. So today we are focusing on the lead generation department. Now, I've done other podcasts and I will continue to do podcasts into the future, related to messaging and marketing, because, I just think that that's a really important point, obviously, to help you guys upgrade, especially stepping into 2024 where we are now. The first episode of this, this new season absolutely speaks to the shifts that we've seen in the messaging and the marketing and how to actually speak to your most ideal clients. That's super important. Go back and listen to it if you feel like your messaging and your marketing is the problem. Now, if we actually talk about lead generation, though, and generating, we call them daily leads drivers, or generating like weekly leads and, monthly leads and things like that. There's a few key things that we actually have to understand. So the first thing that I want to give you is the analogies. All right. What the fuck is Skye talking about when she says a dance floor for fish? So a dance floor for fish, I used to have an analogy, that I still use today. I'm about to give you in relation to fishing and thinking about, lead generation like fishing. All right. You can probably start to imagine that already now. However, I then heard an amazing other analogy related to lead generation in relation to the dance floor, and that just broke my brain because it was the most fucking hilarious thing that I've ever heard in my life, and so I want to share that analogy with you too. So let's talk about fishing to begin with. Leads, all right, this is what we see happen in business. I see far too many businesses, sit on the beach, all right, with their net next to them and thinking that somehow it's the fish's job to, swim up to the shore's edge, leap out of the water, jump into the net somehow, and that's somehow, magically how we're going to get leads, that it's like the fish's job to jump into our net. Let me tell you, it's not, all right? Our job as the operational organizational leader of our own enterprise, it is our job to get into the fucking boat, take that boat out into the middle of the ocean, right? And, cast our fishing lines in and reel in those fishes. Now, I say this with love, but where I see this also go wrong, is that, bless you guys, my spiritual businesses who are out there. Now, I totally believe this. Look, if you're an energetic, universal kind of human like me, there is an amount of attraction and alignment and soul to soul connection and things like that. But you're living in a human experience. Therefore, you need to go out there and actually take the actions. All right. So it is not the fishers or the lead or the potential client's job or the universe's job to just send the most aligned people your way. And that if it's meant to be, if it's meant for me, it's meant to be, or whatever the sayings are, and that, the clients are just going to find me. Okay, great. But that is being a passive passenger, to your own 3D life. All right. So it still is your job, all right, to take the actions, to get in the boat, to go out there so that, whatever you want to say, so that their soul team and your soul team can get together in the quantum and make an arrangement. You still need to be able to be seen. You still need to be showing up and doing content. You still need to have fishing rods in the water for that soulmate client to swim up to, give a little fucking nibble on, and then you kind of hook and reel them in. All right. So that is the fishing analogy, for lead generation. So let's talk about the dance floor analogy. So the dance floor analogy is actually this, that and bless, this isn't necessarily language I would normally use at all by any means, but I want to give you the, full spectrum picture, righty, of how this was given to me when I first heard this analogy. So it's like you're out on the dance floor, right? And there's a couple of guys, there's the good looking guy and there's kind of the, the ugly guy that's got a little bit of extra confidence. Now the good looking guy stands off to the side and he just sort of waits for, the girls to like maybe come up to him and hopefully he'll get a number. Maybe he'll go home with somebody, that kind of thing. The ugly guy knows he's got a little bit of work to do. And he knows that if he goes out on the dance floor and he sort of dance around and he asks for some numbers and he's like, hey, do you want to come home with me? This and that by process of elimination and also the law of averages, if he keeps doing this again and again, keep asking a girl and ask another one, get rejected, ask another girl, at some point in time, he is going to come up against the girl, who is a little bit fat and has daddy issues and is absolutely going to go home with him, because he asked. All right. And he's like, yes, I'm fucking in, and he gets that number and he goes home, all right, with the girl. Meanwhile, the attractive guy still standing on the side of the dance floor, just waiting, and wishing and willing that maybe some girl's going to walk up and maybe he'll go home with somebody that night. All right. So you can see how, this analogy as well shows you that exactly, like it's not the fish's job to swim up and just jump into your net on the beach, right? And the same as, right, the law of averages saying that the more the ugly guy goes out there, and again, I would never normally talk like that. It's for the purposes of, the analogy, is going to find, the fat BFF with daddy issues who is absolutely going to say yes at some point in time and, and then go home with him, bada bing, bada boom, right? So
I've spent my life obsessed with the strategy and energetics of seven-figure business. I've literally traveled the world trying to crack the code. And what I found is that when you couple the pursuit of making massive amounts of money with the strategy and science of success, plus having a desire for significant impact and contribution, magic happens. That's why I created a free 21-day next level vortex money mission magic. Hell yes to that. This 21-day quantum business challenge is here to shift you into new timelines and realities. 21 days to quantum shift your impact, business, and your bank account. These carefully crafted and channeled tools are the exact things I've used to create a life beyond my wildest dreams, and I'm not done yet. If you're ready for incredible transformation now in all areas of your life, more money and financial freedom, freedom of time, freedom of lifestyle, freedom of choice, better, more connected relationships, greater levels of health, and simply calling in more magic into every single day, then these 21 days are going to blow your mind. 21 days of powerful universal, behavioral, and strategic tools to quantum shift your internal state so that you start to see massive changes in your external reality, bringing the metaphysical into the physical. Join the challenge now and get ready for the most powerful 21-day expansion to quantum shift your impact, business, bank account, and your life.
Cosmic Money, the podcast. The strategy and energetics of seven-figure business.
You need to be the ugly guy, right? You need to go out there. You got to lube some people up first, all right? And because right now you're probably going in dry and hard, or you're not even trying at all. And all of this creates problems within your business. And so this is why as well, when we look at the departments and what I see too many businesses do wrong, like I said before, is we go, oh my gosh, I've got, I don't have enough leads, or it starts often with, I need some more money. All right. So that's a sales problem. So I need some more money. I don't have, I'm not making enough sales. I haven't got enough leads. So I better create a new deal or offer. See how we are trying to solve the problem in the wrong part of your business. You don't need another deliverable. You need to look at either your messaging and your marketing for the deliverable that you already have, or you need more fishing rods in the water because right now you don't have enough in there. And perhaps as well, and I'm going to, talk about this a little bit more, but you have to understand, and again, my clients, to use a very Australian term, my clients know that I get up them all the time about this, right? Is that posting is not a complete strategy. All right. You have to understand that posting is bare minimum. Posting by itself, I don't care what platform you're posting on, posting by itself is not a complete strategy. Posting a TikTok, posting a story, posting a long form post, posting a carousel, posting is not actually a complete strategy. Fishing rods in the water are complete strategies. We're not just talking about yes, you've got to post, but that is bare minimum that you could be doing on any given day. That's to keep your audience warm. That's to, nurture people. So you have to understand that, posting is actually the bare minimum that you can be doing. All right. You need to understand, what is the complete strategy? Why am I posting? For what purpose? What's the process here? Let me give an example, if we're running a masterclass, for instance, we're running a masterclass strategy. Now, as part of that masterclass, high converting masterclass as they're called, and I'm just using this as an example to show you what a complete strategy might actually look like. If we were running a 90-minute high converting masterclass, that's what they're called, then in fact, yes, we would be posting about it. All right. We would be posting and saying, hey, come to the masterclass. We would also have registration links. Those registration links would also grab, emails. So those people then go into our email list. That email list then kicks off nurture sequences. We know who is registered for our masterclass, and I will also then reach out to them via Messenger. So now they're in a chat conversation with us as well. From that chat conversation, we will chat sequence them, which is a particular sequence of conversation, to see if potentially this is somebody that we can help, and also, if they're a good match for us and if we're a good match for them. We will then also offer a game plan call. We will jump on a game plan call previous to the masterclass itself to help support them get the most out of the event. They will then watch the event. After that, we will have an integration call with them, within integrity for those that suits, and then potentially we will make an offer. All right. And so as you can see, and I'm just kind of throwing that out there as kind of the fast version of it, right? As you can see, the strategy isn't I'm just going to post, or the strategy isn't I'm just going to post and say, hey, I'm running a masterclass next week. Would you like to join? Or register now, for, this masterclass or whatever. There are so many other pieces in which, and ways that we are in fact capturing people, to obviously, serve them, build that relationship equity, because those leads, those people of today, that relationship equity of today are going to be your clients over the next 30, 60, 90 days. All right. Super important. Now, something else I mentioned just before was actually the law of averages. All right. And I want to explain that a little bit further because, again, I know this is an area that a lot of coaches can actually get stuck in. A lot of business owners, a lot of service providers, and or the opposite of that, goods-based businesses as well. All right. Now, the law of averages basically says that, that whatever, this sounds very weird, but just bear with me, that whatever is going to happen or whatever was meant to happen is going to happen anyway. That is as, simplified as I can make the law of averages, all right? Whatever was bound to happen is going to happen anyway, okay? Now, in business, what does it mean? There are certain statistics around, lead generation, around, even cold leads, warm leads, and hot leads, the potential for converting them, how many people are actually going to come and join us, sign up, and whatever else it is. All right. So let me give you another little thing. I think we've talked about this in a previous podcast called the niche market advantage. So niche market advantage plus law of averages, we're going to put them together. Niche market advantage basically says that if you've got 100 people, 60 of them are what we call problem unaware. They don't even know, they have a problem. So I often use truckers. I don't know why. That's just my example. So I use truckers as an example. We've got fish today, you guys. We've got, girls out there with daddy issues. We've got truckers now. Let's see where we end up. All right. So, so we've got truckers. If there are 100 truckers, there are 60 of them that, don't really know they have a problem. Let's say it's around their health or something like that. There are 60 of them, don't really know they have a problem, not really looking for answers. They're just eating all the bad foods. It doesn't really matter, don't really care, probably got, some high blood pressure and other comorbidities, but whatever, all right? There are then 20% of those 100 truckers, which is 20 truckers, that are problem aware. Oh, I probably should lose some weight, or, maybe I shouldn't be having all these energy drinks, or, or my dad died of heart disease, something along those lines, all right? So they know they have a problem. We then have 17% of people that are actually what we call information seeking, all right? So they are looking, they know they have a problem, and they are trying to find answers to solve that problem, all right? So they are, very real and now potential buyers. Okay, so we have future buyers and we have now buyers. So the 17%, so out of 100, all right, 17 people are already now buyers. They are looking for the information, all right? They're picking up what you're putting down, and they want you to sell to them. And now there is another 3%, and the 3%, or 3 people for every 100, are what we call shut up and take my money. All right, they are absolutely hot, and ready to buy. So the law of averages, right, coupled with, niche market advantage, if we have 100 people, we know that at least 20 people are basically ready to buy. 3 of them are shut up and take my money, and 17 people are literally just waiting to see your information. If you're fucking sitting on the beach with your net because the universe is going to send you the right clients at the right time, those 17 people, plus the 3 that are shut up and take my money, they are never going to see you. They can't see you. They're swimming in the ocean. You're sitting on the beach with your net, wishing and willing that the fish just jump in. But if you get out there into your boat, into the middle of the ocean, you cast those lines in, which might be, a masterclass strategy, which might be a case study, which could be a scholarship, which could be, amazing messaging and marketing for your, launch lead in or something like that to your program. It could be a podcast strategy. It could be, there are a bazillion different, and that is my very, strategic professional number there for you, a bazillion, you guys. There are a bazillion different full complete strategies around lead generation. But if you're not running any of them, all right, then how are those 20 people ever going to find you? Okay, it's so important. Now, the extension of that is that the law of averages says that whatever is meant to happen is going to happen anyway. All right. But what happens for us is that we go out there, we put some promotions out there. Nobody, we get very little engagement or something, or nobody really reaches out, or, it doesn't quite get traction. Maybe there's something in our messaging, in our marketing, or to be honest with you, business is a game of eyeballs. We'll talk about that in a sec, right? Business is a game of eyeballs. So maybe they just didn't get enough eyeballs on whatever, you put one post in one place, which isn't even a complete strategy, and then we get deterred, right? We're like, oh gosh, damn it, nobody's interested, right? But number one, it was never in front of enough eyeballs anyway. And have you gotten enough no's, right? People saying, no, not interested, no, thank you, or not enough eyeballs. Have you gotten it in front of 100 people? Guaranteed. because if you get it in front of 100 people enough times, then 20 people are already, looking for that information ready to buy. So who are you not to show up? All right, you've got to. Okay, 3 people are already ready to go. Shut up and take my money. Okay, you've just got to give them the option in front of them, the bait. And I hate saying it quite like that because that's maybe a misaligned word, but you get the idea. You have to get the fishing rods with the hooks and the bait in the water so the fish can actually come and find you and then be like, ooh, nom, 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 like, I love that. That's tasting delicious, like I'm in. Shut up and take my money, right? Now, business and lead generation. All right. So I often say business very broadly, but again, for me, there are departments. Those departments have, structures and strategies and systems, all contained within them. So yes, broadly business, but really, lead generation, messaging and marketing is absolutely a game of eyeballs. So what do I mean by that? What we know to be true is that eyeballs, all right. So your content in front of eyeballs become bingers, people binging you, bingers, the people binging you, become buyers. All right. Eyeballs become bingers, bingers become buyers. It's a numbers game, you guys. It's a numbers game. So don't get emotionally deterred, if you've had whatever, like, what is it? 80 no's, because the law of averages says, cool, you've had 80 no's, the next 20 are going to be the yeses, because whatever is meant to happen is going to happen anyway. All right. Statistically, not universally. Yes, there might be a universal piece to play, but we're talking statistically here. The law of averages is a statistic thing. All right. Whatever is meant to happen, all right, statistically is going to happen anyway. So if you speak to 100 people and the first 80 of them say no, all right, the next 20 are going to be your yeses. Okay. And it is an eyeballs game. Now, we understand, all right, if it's an eyeballs game and it is about, if it is about eyeballs becoming bingers, bingers become buyers. Okay. The idea is to attract, grow, nurture, convert.
Gorgeous being. It is truly my honor to have you here joining me on this co-created adventure through the strategy and energetics of 7-figure business. However it is that you landed here, whether we know each other personally or professionally, whether a friend shared this podcast with you as they thought you might get something out of it, or whether you stumbled across me by sheer accident or divine intervention, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to ask you a little favor. It is my joy to do what it is that I do every single day. And so if you have received anything here, a piece of magic, a strategy, a mindset shift, something that has transformed you in some way, I ask that you share this podcast with others so that together we can transform the world for the better. One business, one human, one frequency, and one podcast at a time. Cosmic Money, the podcast. The strategy and energetics of 7-figure business.
Lead generation. Attract, grow, nurture, and then convert is when we end up in the sales machine. All right. Attract, grow, nurture, convert. Attract, grow, nurture, convert. Okay. Our goal, is to go out there, get ourselves in front of other people's audiences or where our most ideal clients are hanging out. All right. So we want to go and get ourselves out there. We're going to then attract those people back to our places. Where did I say before? I said our messages, our DMs. We want to get people into conversations. All right. I'm teaching you guys a lot today. You don't even realize it. All right. So into our conversations, the 3 places you want to land people: conversations, in your email, right? Because you don't own your social media, but you do own your email list. So we want to capture their emails. And the third place is if you do have something like a community group or something along those lines, because that is your place where you get to be the go-to expert. All right. So they're the 3 places you want to be able to capture people in terms of, leads, is get them into the DMs, start chat sequencing them, make sure you've captured their email because you own your email list and you can nurture them that way too, as well as, bring them back, attract them back to your places, all right, your profile, your page and your, community group or something along those lines, so that they have more eyeballs on your content. Those eyeballs, they're going to start binging you. They're going to go on the scroll, right? And the more that they scroll, because you've been putting content out there, yes, then the likelihood of them actually, reaching out bingers become buyers. All right. Attract people from other places, grow your own audience and your own reach, nurture them when they are in your spaces. Because again, remember, yes, we might have 3% of people that are ready to buy right now. 17% need a little bit of nurturing. They want to see a few more things. So you got to show up. So yes, posting is important. Absolutely. I'm not saying it isn't, but it is only a part of a complete strategy. Another way to nurture people is exactly like I said before, on a podcast or on a high converting webinar or some kind of event, or run a challenge or. All right. All of these are complete strategies that help to nurture your potential buyers into, going from future buyers to now buyers. All right. That's why we nurture and then obviously convert, which is the sales portion anyway. So look, you guys have actually gotten a lot today. You have gotten the fishing analogies, dance floor for fish, and understanding that it is our job to go out there, and really highly attract those leads towards us. You don't get to be a passive background, what is it, backseat, driver of your business. You've actually got to, grab the wheel and whatever. I'm steer the ship. I was about to say, are we in a car? Are we on a boat? Who knows? Are we in the dance floor? All righty. We talked about the law of averages, that whatever is meant to happen is going to happen anyway. All right. So simply just go out there. It is a numbers game. Business is data, you guys. Business is data. Speak to 100 people. I promise you, 20 of them are ready to basically buy. All right. So we spoke about that, which is niche market advantage coupled with the law of averages. We spoke about driving traffic. Eyeballs equals bingers. Bingers become buyers. We understand that it's, our job in the front end of our business, all right, that lead generation section, is to attract, grow, nurture, convert, attract, grow, nurture, convert. And we understand that posting is bare minimum. All right. Yes, you have to get, posting out there because that's going to help nurture people. It's also going to drive, traffic and things like that. But you've got to understand that posting by itself isn't actually a complete strategy. Now, look, what I'll say is this, the dance floor for fish, I giggle about this, that Dance Floor for Fish is actually, the one of the topics all about lead generation, leads on tap, sales with ease as part of my Dream Online Clients Now program. I'm going to get my podcast people to put an ad here now, to give you some more information so that you can actually see if, Dream Online Clients Now is a great match for you, if we're able to help. There is no pressure. I'm really not into pressuring people. So look, let's have a conversation if it makes sense, because this is the kind of thing that we actually speak about. And we have an entire other section called Hand Raiser Labs, which is in fact all of the complete strategies you could possibly need from start to finish to help you, really nail your messaging, your marketing, attract those leads, know what to say to them, the chat sequences, the sales scripts, the hand raises themselves, the deals, the offers, the emails, sequences. You guys, Hand Raiser Labs is fucking insane. And so if that sounds like something that you need, if you need a little bit of hand holding, if you need, the copy written and given to you, if you need 30 days of launch lead and marketing materials and, 10-day sales machines, all kinds of things, you guys, it is all actually contained there as a part of Hand Raiser Labs, connected to Dance Floor for Fish, which is all about lead generation and teaching you complete strategies so that you get it, so that you get that success, and, literally make money today. All right, you guys, as part of Dream Online Clients Now. Love you.
Cosmic Money, the podcast, the strategy and energetics of seven-figure business.